one thing that oversight Republicans have not been able to prove is that Joe Biden got any money from this.
Right.
Comer has said time and time again that he's investigating Joe Biden. But while they have shown very sketchy things that might be unethical, that Biden made phone calls to Hunter Biden when he was in front of associates, was put on speakerphone,
right,
and that he met with people that were paying Hunter Biden in Cafe Milano and down in D.C. Devin Archer's testified that there was never business talk. It was just having his presence there really had an effect.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle. I'm joined today by Congressional Reporter Reese Gorman. Reese, Congress may be in recess, but the Biden family investigation doesn't stop, doesn't pause.
It's still going on. We had, on the first day of recess, we had the Devin Archer testimony, and that was on Monday, July 31st. And since then, we just had recently a new bank memo released showing Hunter Biden and Devin Archer, their businesses, both received millions from foreign oligarchs, including one payment that Hunter Biden received through Rosemont Seneca Bohai. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That it was a $142,300 transaction wired from a Kazakhstani oligarch to this account. The very next day, that money was wired out of that same account to a New Jersey car dealership, and it was to pay for a car for Hunter Biden, a very expensive car. And so there's been a lot of these new bank memos, especially following Devin Archer's testimony, which shines new light onto Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings, and how Joe Biden then, when he was vice president, met with these oligarchs that had paid both Hunter Biden and Devin Archer's company when they were here in D.C. up at Cafe Milano in Georgetown. But one thing that...
Not the tune in, though.
Not the tune in, which
right.
It was at Cafe Milano, which, big mistake on their part, but it's okay.
Clearly.
One thing that oversight Republicans have not been able to prove is that Joe Biden got any money from this.
Right.
Comer has said time and time again that he's investigating Joe Biden. But while they have shown very sketchy things that might be unethical, that Biden made phone calls to Hunter Biden when he was in front of associates, was put on speakerphone,
right, and
that he met with people that were paying Hunter Biden in Cafe Milano and down in D.C. Devin Archer's testified that there was never business talk. It was just having his presence there really had an effect. So they've not been able to prove that core thing that Biden did something illegal.
They've not been able to prove the 10% for the big guy, and the bribes,
and the $5 million or something like that. But the stuff they have proved is big deal. I mean, you have the vice president in a room as your dad when you're trying to negotiate a business deal. You're probably going to get what you want a little bit more.
Right, and so the Democratic position had previously been that there wasn't really any Biden discussion with his son's businesses. And now it's, Hunter Biden was selling the illusion of access to the then vice president. But by being on speakerphone, you're kind of participating in making 100%. That illusion, are you not?
Oh, no, definitely. You're definitely participating. And let's be honest. And there was times when Archer had said that, Joe Biden knew who his son was, who was around at those times, whenever they would call. And it was definitely, I don't call my dad all the time when I'm meeting with people.
Right.
I'm sure Hunter Biden definitely had the thought process of, let me get the vice president on the phone around these probably business associates or future business associates and see what can happen. And Archer did testify that he was trying to sell this Biden brand,
right,
and that he had the contacts, he had the access to get what he needs to get what they want, to help them out, whether it was lobbying, whether it was contacts in D.C., whether it was law firms, or whatever it may be, that he had these contacts and this ability. This Biden brand was what he was selling. And the Biden brand, Archer testified, was Joe Biden, that he had the access to Joe Biden. So, and that's really there, and that's kind of what Hunter Biden was selling. And it worked. I mean, he made millions and millions of dollars from these foreign businesses and foreign oligarchs and business associates.
So tired Biden had never had anything to do with Hunter's business activities, wired millions of dollars into Hunter Biden's accounts.
Exactly. When you ask them about this, I mean, I know Fox News' Peter Doocy asked, and Biden said it was a lousy question. Right. Dan Goldman told me my question was preposterous when I asked about this. And so they don't like being questioned on this, but the story does change, as has been pointed out. Biden and Hunter never talked about business, never had contact with anything like that, was never in business with his son. Now, Hunter Biden was just selling the illusion of access. So the story has changed over time.
And so they're going to be continuing to look into this and see if they can dig further.
So this bank memo was just the first of what we can expect to see during recess, multiple different releases. I know I reported prior to recess that Comer had told me that he wants to subpoena a number of other Biden officials, whether it be Rob Walker or any of those people in that realm, to come testify in kind of a transcribed interview-like situation, kind of like Devin Archer did. They also want to keep subpoenaing bank records and kind of building on this, because when you get one bank record, you can then find, the wire came into this bank from this bank, so let's look at this bank. So they want to keep looking into this, and there is a possibility next fall for the impeachment inquiry, or this fall, I guess, into Joe Biden. This is not an impeachment, but it is an impeachment inquiry that I think a lot of Republicans feel the pressure that they need to do this, both from Trump, from the kind of the Freedom Caucus side of the party, and from maybe some of their constituents as well, that they need to open up some kind of impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden.
Pumpkin spice lattes and impeachment should be a busy fall.
They go hand in hand.
Thank you, Reese.
Thank you, Jim.
You can read Reese and the rest of our political team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.